In today's video, we're going to show you how to enhance your ball striking so you could even become one of the best ball strikers at your golf club. Hi everyone, my name is James Robinson. Welcome back to Get Good at Golf. Guys, if you want to do just that, get good at golf, make sure you do consider hitting that subscribe button. Today we're talking irons and we're talking about how to improve your ball striking, because what does better ball striking actually affect? Well, really the story behind that is it affects everything. It affects the distance the ball goes, it affects your accuracy towards the flag, and it affects your overall enjoyment of the game, if you ask me, because if you're not striking the ball well, you're really just in a bad place. I always think if I'm playing golf and I'm striking it well, I can pretty much get it round and rely on my short game, because we're going to be around flag high. We're on a gorgeous par 3 here to talk you through it. And for me, one of the big things that so many golfers generally just get wrong is that setup. And we've spoken about this in the past about driver. So many golfers are taught, right, we need to stand 50-50. I want both your feet pointing straight towards, Chris on the camera there, and I want the ball in the middle of the stance for your irons. We'll move it from there, and then you load up to get onto your right side. The problem with this is you would never stand like this, would you? Like if you're stood at a bar or if you're stood at a bus stop or anywhere, when do you ever stand with your feet parallel? It's not a thing, because actually your balance doesn't work that well with parallel feet. You actually want to have your feet a little bit kind of more flared out, especially the left foot, which we'll go into towards the back end of this video, because Chris has got some fantastic drills for you. So make sure you hit that subscribe button. But I've got no problem with the ball position being in the middle. If it's a mid iron, if it's a longer iron, you obviously want to move that forward a little bit. And if it's a short iron, I wouldn't necessarily move it back too much. I always think when you see someone with a ball right at the back of the stance, they're just going to hit down on it so much. You're going to get big, horrible crater divots, and that's not really what you want to enhance your ball striking and become the best ball striker at your golf club. So what happens if I do fan that left foot out? It actually allows me to have a much better sequence and much more compact downswing, because we all know that generally I want to load up to the top of my backswing and I want my weight on my trail side, so I want it on the right side for a right-handed golfer. What happens from here? So if you've watched any of our videos in the past, you'll know sequencing is key when it comes to ball striking and creating power as well, creating distance. That's essentially why we're all here, isn't it? Trying to improve that. So if I've loaded up to the right-hand side, I can then sequence my downswing, starting with the lower body, starting with the left-hand side of the lower body to be really specific. From here, the hip moves round, then the upper body moves round. But why does that look so effortless, and why would it improve the ball striking and enhance speed? You see, the key here is because that left foot's flared out, I've already started the downswing when I'm at the top, so I'm cheating a little bit, you could say, because all I have to do is move that hip, and because the foot's flared out, I'm already moving over to that left-hand side, so it can really help me play nice, high towering iron shots a little bit like that one. You'll see I've got a lovely divot there. That one should be around flag high. My golf ball was here. So all I've done there, I've got a nice divot moving around the arc. A lot of golfers might say, oh, James, you've cut across that because that divot is pointing to the left of your target. Realistically there, if I'm moving the club around my body, the club has to move on an arc around the body. It's not going to move straight back, straight through, or square to square, as some people might say. You might say it's a little bit out to in, but actually all it's doing is working around your body and slightly down on the ball, because we're compressing that ball down into the turf. So again, we'll just go one more. Left foot fanned out, and you see how easy that was to do. Again, another nice high towering shot, exactly the same divot there, and all I'm doing there is repeating the same motion, so I know those golf balls are going exactly the same distance, exactly the same direction, and that's going to help you enhance your ball striking.
Right, so as always, fantastic points there from James. I will just tidy up for him. But we need a drill now. We need something that's going to make it easy, because a lot of people have told you to turn your left foot out, and we'll see people turn the left foot out and think, okay, and turn the right foot out, and they start to look like this. Right, we don't want to be looking like they're both turning out to the toilet. Again,
Charlie Chaplin.
Charlie Chaplin. We're not going to be able to generate a good swing from here. So we've got to be consistent in that. The left foot, the right foot's going to be ever so slightly out, but the left foot's going to be nearly at 45 degrees. So like James mentioned there with sequencing, we can see how much easier it is when I'm at the top to get this foot or this left knee working back and my hips rotating as I come down there. Very easy. We see if we go straight and I go straight footed here, then it's very hard for me to do that because I'm then going to get my body get a little bit over the top. And that's what we start to see. If you have your feet pointing straight towards a camera or straight in front, we often see that the body will take over. We'll start to see that you might get a lot of pull shots. We might be the slices of the golf ball. But also then after you've done that a little bit, we all know we will manipulate and we might then start to fall back and just try and cast the hands at it to try and get it drawing over, which again is going to go to the left hand side. So we're opening all areas of that. But people start to struggle with weight shift. So although they've got the left foot out, they might still see that, oh, I've fallen back into this position, I've not got the strike. So what I want to do is make sure we're getting that weight shift and we're getting that momentum. We're also here trying to really help the people who slice the golf ball. I want to get the club working a little bit more out to the right. We want to get then the ball drawing from right to left if you're a right-handed golfer. And a nice easy way to do that is once you've taken your setup, forgot my glove.
Oh no.
Forgot my glove, everyone. How embarrassing. Right, glove on. Now I mean business. Right, so I'm going to take my setup, get this left foot turned out, and then all I'm going to do when I set up is actually drop this right foot back a little bit. It's just going to help allow us to help work that club, again, a little bit more out in front of us, but on the way through, really helping us there, get the club working a little bit out to the right, and really get us onto the ball of that left foot. So it's going to help with your club path. If we can then control your club face, we're going to start to see little draws, and that's what everybody wants to see. If we want a little bit better ball striking, if we want to get the ball going a little bit further, then we need to get that club working a little bit out to the right and start to see us drawing the golf ball. So normal setup, make sure everything's square to start with. Left foot is turned nicely out. Then all I'm going to do is drop it back, maybe halfway into my left foot. So you can see it's just back, but my shoulders are staying square. From here, it's nice and easy for me to make a motion and make a good swing. Really get myself transferring that weight. Very easy to get onto my left-hand side there. A nice flight, a nice interaction with the turf, and a consistent strike should come from that. You can see that, again, nicely entered the turf, nice and neutral, and it is a little bit on the arc, even though I've dropped that right foot back. So, but I've got the ball started on line and it was very effortless. Here we're trying to make the golf swing as easy as possible. So we're trying to get you to be able to feel like I'm not hitting at the golf ball, I'm just letting the golf club swing. And that's the key thing here. We see a lot of people, and you'll have seen in other videos where, you know, they do a nice, perfect, slow back swing, and then everything's thrown at it. The kitchen sink is thrown at it, everything's gone there. They're breathing heavy after, and the ball's only gone 50 yards because they've caught it 3 inches behind the golf ball. By doing this and helping your sequence, we can make it look a little bit more effortless. We can make sure we're shifting that weight into your downswing and into your finish. So again, take your setup, nice and neutral, drop that right foot back, and then really feel like you get through to the ball of the left foot. Just like that. And if we can do that, guys, we're going to be more consistent with our ball flight, more consistent with our distance control, even get a little bit more distance. And if we can do that, we can hit more greens and you can get good at golf.